So perhaps when you first signed up, when you first start to strive towards your goal, you had something in mind, something that you want to accomplish, something that we might define as the after photo. So you have your before photo, you have your before situation, whatever you want to call it, and you're trying to get to this after. And for a lot of times and a lot of people, it's this physical after photo. And I love before and after photos. I love the transformations. I love the comparisons. It's just exciting sometimes. And sometimes it gives you another element of contrast that you might not be able to pick up in some of the other measurements, right? So I think there's some value with the before and after. But I think the question remains is like, when you get to that after photo, what's after the after photo? What's life beyond that? And a lot of times people think about these after photos, these results, and they think it's a short term. Like, I'll do everything I need to do to get to that goal, and then I'll sort of relax and go back to what I'm doing now. It's almost like they feel like they could temporarily take a vacation from their life, get to their goal, and come back to doing what their life was before. And that's a very interesting way of looking at it, because how could you behave your way into this situation right now where you don't appreciate what's going on? This is not what you want to be. You're going to change your behavior to get to the result that you're looking for, but also then go back, change your behavior to what it was before, and expect to keep this outcome that you had to change your behavior to achieve. So going back to the original behavior, aren't you going to get back to the original results? So there's this interesting concept, like it's not short term. This is why you so often hear about it being a lifestyle. It's because you're changing these habits, you're building, you're progressing, and you're getting to the point where you're a brand new version of you. You're a version of you that behaves differently because the way you were behaving before was achieving these results that you did not appreciate. These are not what you wanted to get. It might have been useful at some point, you might have liked it, whatever, but this is no longer serving you and serving the purpose that you wanted to. So now you want to get to this after photo, and you have to change your behavior. So you want to consider that this is not a vacation, and that might be daunting. That might be like, oh, I didn't sign up for this, and I'm not asking you to change your life all around, move to a different country, swear off, modern technology, etc. I'm just asking you to realize and recognize that if you want to get to this after photo, your behaviors are going to have to change, and they're going to have to change for good. They're going to have to change because that's what they continue to maintain this result. And of course, there's elements of these behaviors that won't have to be as extreme, because at some point, for example, if you're in a calorie deficit and you get to where you want to be, you can't remain in a calorie deficit, because if you remain in a calorie deficit indefinitely, what would happen is you technically wither away to nothing. And that's not healthy. You also don't want to go in that direction. So at some point, you get to a point where you're happy with where you're at, and you actually increase your calories and maybe go to maintenance. But the behaviors themselves don't change, because if you revert back to this calorie surplus that you were doing before in order to gain all the weight previously, this is where you're going to end up. So consider this. It is a lifestyle. There is something beyond the after photo, and you must consider that in the way you approach your goal.